Do the children's lives matter most? Dr. Robert Cassar, eartheracademy.com. This is another Rethinking reality. Do the children's lives matter most? That's just a question. All life matters, right? Because we're all here sharing our experiences together. Just real simple. But the most vulnerable are not really the elderly. The most vulnerable are not the autistic. The most vulnerable, to me, are just the children. Remember, when you're young, you have 0 software programs in your brain. Okay, that means when you're born, you don't have anything going on in there. And you're easily programmed to be able to learn what your parents want you to learn or not learn. Do the children's lives matter most? I would say so, only because that's our future. That's our future. And a lot of people are not having children, but where's our future going? The most amazing thing about having a child is just being able to open up another energy level within yourself. And I know that's scary, remember, because life is just evolving around yourself and maybe your family and maybe 1 or 2 friends. But when you have a child, all other relationships are secondary, tertiary, and so on. Just, it's the way it is. The father opens up as your child is born. Remember, you created this life. Well, you sort of participated in it, but you can say the creator created this life, this miracle of life. I mean, I cried every time I had a child. It's just a miracle, a miracle. And I became a father. And I look now at the children is because I, of course, couldn't see my childhood until I had children. It's because my children are going to go through a childhood, and your parents are the ones that guide them to the future. At least some of them do, in the way that maybe is a good way and maybe in a way that's a bad way. This is a very sensitive subject to talk about, okay? Do the children's lives really matter most? Well, why are so many children obese right now? Why? Just a question to ask. What do you think it is? Their diet? Of course. You think it's because maybe they're sitting on their arse all day watching videos and playing with computer AI interface? Of course. Do you think it's because of, well, just the malnourishment they're getting? Because maybe some of the mothers are putting their children on a vegan diet or plant-based diet. Really. Do the children's lives matter most? And who's responsible for them? The parents are. Their grandparents are. Their siblings in the family. Everybody is here to be able to see if we can put this child in a direction that makes sense. So when you've got endocrine disruptors in your food, in your plastic water, you start feeding these children, right? Not even mom's milk, but you feed them, I don't even want to say the name, like Similac, right? Or one of these non-human milks. Some people even feed their children oat milk and stuff, thinking for some odd reason they're going to get all the nutrition that they need to be able to have that child magically grow into something that's healthy, wealthy, happy, wise, and conscious to some degree. Like I said, this is not easy to talk about, is because the parents are at fault. Yeah, your school systems are at fault too. The whole system's at fault, because you can see that the people aren't getting any smarter. They're getting, you can say, tricked easier. If you're a male, I mean, put yourself in the comments. How many of you listening, when you came into this world, right? You came in under a bright light, you're living in this nice, warm, little fuzzy den, and breathing mom's water. You're an amphibian in the second dimension, and then finally mom says, you're becoming a parasite, and if I don't let you out of this chamber, you're going to kill me because you're getting too big and I won't be able to get you out. And not only that, you're taking a lot of my nutrients. If I don't eat correctly, then you're draining my body and making me, in time, get old quick. So I better get you out of here. Bright lights, okay, suction cups on the head, C-section, whatever it's going to be. Okay, slap on the rear end. Ah! Took your first breath in this dimension. Now you're a third dimensional being. Okay, remember, this is a spiritual thing here. In 49 days, your pineal gland came out, and after 49 days, if you do the dirty deed, well, that's not a good thing, is because that entity was an entity at that time. Before, it was just what it was. But anyways, you get slapped in the rear end, you start crying, you get your umbilical cord cut down to go ahead and cut your oxygen off, which should never be done. Okay, why are you taking away the placental's blood flow and oxygen and everything else from the mother? Child, okay, anyways. It's like when you're born into this place, from day one, look, men get circumcised. This is what I wanted to ask. How many of you are circumcised? They got me. They got almost anybody that I ever ask. Hey, did you get clipped? And why is the question? Remember, we did to what we did to our children only because we were ignorant and didn't know. Why would you trim off that 100 trillion neural nets? Okay, the same as in a female's clitoris, 100 trillion neural nets. Why would you cut that tip of the skin off? Could it be possible that that child with the circumcision will never bond with another female or another energy? Is because you don't have that specialized cell, okay? Those 100 trillion very complex neural nets on that little piece of skin that they take off. And what do you do with that skin is the question. Very sacred skin. Anyways, you won't bond with female, okay? Just like in the movie Avatar, Sabuelo, right? You have to bond yourself with that creature. If not, you won't be able to ride it. It must know you and you must know it. So if you take away from that child at birth, do the children's lives matter? To have a good relationship and a bonding relationship, I think so in the future. So why would you do that? You're just cursing this child to be able to not be able to have a bonded relationship with a mate, a bonded relationship. And bonded means that your electrical energies have coalesced together, and now you've got yourself one energy that knows itself. It's because you had orgasm, and at that time of orgasm, you brought your vibration up to a certain tune. But if you don't have the foreskin, guys, your little scepter there doesn't have the electrical capacitor to be able to go ahead and make that electrical bond with the female that cut it off. Anyways, okay, do the children's lives matter most? Again, I would say so, only because they are the most naive out of all. Okay, they are taught a lot of ridiculous stuff. A lot in school. Remember, you came from a monkey? Really? Where's the monkeys that haven't turned into monkeys? Why do we even have monkeys then? Okay, where are the sort of half monkey and half human? Okay, why do the finches and the sparrows, why are they the same size? Okay, and they don't have babies and don't cross-pollinate and cross-species. The blue jay, right, and the blackbird, they're about the same size, but for some reason that species stays within its species and clones itself perfectly over and over again. Intelligent design that none of us understand. So your child, now remember, you're forming their brain, you're forming their software programs. They didn't even know how to wipe their arse in the right direction, so you had to teach them. If you knew how to wipe your arse in the right direction and also maybe clean it afterwards, then maybe you're doing a service of them. But you can see the onslaught of the chemicals that the children get. Children's lives matter most. Okay, look at all the talcum powder with all the scrotum disease. Okay, I won't say the name of the companies, but these are the companies, okay, that of course sell you products, and you think that those products aren't going to cause any harm. Okay? Estrogenic scents, all the scents and all the children's, any scent that you have in your laundry detergent, in your shampoo, those are all synthetic scents. Synthetic scents are estrogenic in nature. Okay? The chemicals that are in plastic, and you're heating a bottle up in the microwave and the plastic is leaching into the food. And those are estrogenic mimicking chemicals. Okay? And you wonder why that boy or that girl is never going to grow up hormonally correct. Their private parts and their reproductive areas will grow not the way they're supposed to if they don't get the correct blend of testosterone and estrogen on both sides. Males have high testosterone or higher. This is why when you're pregnant, girls, when you throw up, 99% of the time, when you throw up when you're going through your pregnancy, it's because testosterone is being put into your system and that you have a little boy. Okay, and if your pregnancy is smooth operator, no throwing up, no nausea, no nothing, then guess what? Most likely you got a girl coming out. Most likely. Not all the time, but most of the time. Anyways, they scared the crap out of me when I was a child over there with nuclear bombs and you know, radiation, and we're gonna all get just dustified. Okay, duck and cover. Okay, scared the crap out of us. Okay, Cold War, Russia, this, that. Each generation gets scared about living. Taking the joy out of life is watching the television. Because if you watch the television, you're taking the joy out of life. And if your children are watching television, taking the joy out of life. Okay, just think of how the children are being perverted and being able to see things that they shouldn't see at a younger age. There's no reason to. There's none. So the AI interface can do a lot of good things, but then again, you have to limit your time. And again, okay, do the children's lives matter most? Their bodies and brains are most sensitive to microwaves. Most sensitive. Their reproductive organs are most sensitive to microwaves that come out of 2.4 gigahertz out of all the wireless devices, including the little Bluetooth earpods, including the wireless control on your Xbox, and the antenna goes down and you hold that thing between your legs, and what do? You radiate your gonads. Anyways, going to the gym right now, and there's a lot of young children in there. Young, they're like not even that. They're like 6 years old to 18 years old, a lot, and most of them are in good shape. But if your children are obese or chubby, remember, it's because you're feeding them the wrong diet, and it's your fault. And if you look at yourself in the mirror, maybe the mirror image of your children are you. Maybe. You can always go ahead and see sometimes a family. You got a big husky dad, husky mom, and the children are husky or whatever you want to call it. Overweight, toxic, okay, malnourished, because obesity doesn't mean you eat too much of the good things. It just means you eat a bunch of food that doesn't have any nutritional value. It means most likely that you've got an infestation of parasites inside your body, yeast, mold, fungus, and candida. Why do the children have body fat on them? They should be lean and mean. Lean. And I noticed on the island here, there's more play time here, so I don't see a lot of obese children here. But when I go to California they're all over the place. And the parents, guys, who do you think's at fault? Just asking a question. Who do you think's at fault by the child eating a bunch of crap? And oh yeah, you send them to school. Well, yeah, why don't you make them a lunch? Why do they have to eat that crap? Okay, and then of course, yeah, it's not easy raising children, of course, because you got 10,000 commercials that are trying to take your children to the dark side. Then you're letting them watch the television, and if they've got cable, you can watch a lot of weird stuff on there, especially when mom's upstairs or sleeping or whatever it is. They go to the soft porn channel, so check this out. We did when we were younger, just because it wasn't available, and, well, you always want to do what they tell you, not what to do. That's the way it is as a child. Don't do that. Why? You did it. I know, I don't want you to do it. Well, I know, but you did it. Why can't I do it and experience what you experienced so I can learn my lesson? Anyways, do the children's lives matter most? Look how many shots that you have to go to school. All different types of things to be able to supposedly keep you safe. Look at all the homeless camps. And those guys look pretty healthy to me, a lot of the homeless people there. I know, everybody's lost whatever it is, and you wonder why people are there. I mean, I watch Naked and Afraid usually every night just to be able to learn from people how it is to be able to survive in the wilderness with minimal things and see if you can handle it mentally. Your body physically can just about handle a lot of things as long as you keep hydrated and have a little bit of maybe food and not get too stressed out. But anyways, children get stressed out really easy by seeing a lot of things that they shouldn't see at all. Watching the news is just, that's a downer. Going to school and learning about a bunch of his story, maybe that's not even true. Remember Christopher Columbus, a lot of story. Okay, you came from a monkey, the Big Bang Theory, you're going to get taught string theory. Remember, if you're pretty smart, you're going to get taught gravity theory, relativity theory, evolution theory of everything. And that's sort of weird, is because it's not fact, it's theory. So what are you teaching the children? A bunch of the theories that you believe that are true? And maybe so, that some of them make logical sense. Most of them do not. I'm in Hawaii right now, and I'm supposed to be driving to the gym right now sideways. Does that make sense to your head? Oh, no, you went to school, so it's gravity theory that does that. Really? Huh. All the people walking sideways, and I just saw a bug flying sideways too, and the rivers are going sideways, all the telephone poles are going sideways. Does that make logical sense to your brain? And can you show me any experiment that shows that these things can occur in an experiment? No, you can't. No, you can't. Anyways, it's easy to control a civilization when you control the children, as a lot of the ones that control this place, Kissinger even said, give me your child for the first 7 years, I believe it was him, and you can have your child back. Remember, we all have hidden DNA from our mothers and fathers, their mothers and fathers, and so on down the line. And your DNA, if you've played the piano and you don't use it within the first 7 years, then good luck on trying to see if you can activate it. The biological holographs from one generation to the other bring also some type of form of intelligence with it by those that actually experienced events in their time. Neural nets that have been formed. Like if you play the piano, certain neural nets were formed because you used both hands to be able to play the bloody piano. And what do you think happens? That DNA responds now to what you've programmed it, because just like everything else that's programmed in your head. And so your children have this DNA inside them. And if you don't support, activating the DNA as they're under 7 years old, then all you're doing is having children that have sleeping DNA, and they'll most likely never get it to come out. So it's excellent to be able to teach your children, if you can, 3 musical instruments. And the musical instruments, what are they for? They're not to really learn the notes. You can, it's nice to be able to learn that, but to be able to play by ear, to mimic the sounds of music, to mimic them. And if you can mimic the sounds, then, that means that you've activated a part of your brain that's very advanced to be able to take sounds and replicate them on a keyboard without looking at a note to tell you which one to play, is because you've memorized the whole octave, and then you went to the next octave, and then you went to the next octave, and so on down the line. That's how it works. Okay, so do the children's lives matter most? Again, I would say so only because of the naivety, and it's because they're our future. And learning life skills will help you in the future pay the bills. Just remember that. Learning life skills will help you pay the bills, because this place that we live in right now, as you notice, nothing's free. costs money to wipe your arse with a piece of toilet paper. Nothing's free. And the things that are free, we forgot how to go ahead and, you can say, harvest them. Okay, remember, food is free. Why aren't you growing food? Why aren't you teaching your children how to grow food? Just think of it. Why? It's because maybe you don't know how to do it either. And maybe your parents did, and everybody did back then, but for some reason, convenience took away the joy of life. Because if you think the joy of life is sitting on social media and getting controlled 10 hours a day by staring into an interface, a fake interface, then of course you're wrong. The joy that we get about living here is to be able to feel at the end of the day that you did something, you produced something, you created something, you beautified something. Without those feelings, okay, this is a physical world, and without those feelings of some form of progression, doing good that day, doing good. And if you didn't do any good that day, then what are you? The opposite. You're promoting evil by not doing good. Evil, right? Put the D in front as devil, and take away one of the O's in good, and what do you get? God. And we're talking about the good God. That's why it's good God. And you've got the evil God, and that's just a part of your brain. And so the children are easy to trick. Remember, it's easy to take candy, okay, a lollipop from a little child. I remember when I was younger, I was probably like 10 years old, and I was very entrepreneurial. I cut lawns, I did everything to make paper routes, everything, washed windows. And I used to catch snakes and lizards and stuff. So I used to sell my snakes to the pet store, 75 cents a foot for gopher snakes, dollar a foot for king snakes. But then I found out, I said, instead of me selling them, why don't I rent them for people to hold? And so I went to these guys, they were 7 and 8 years old, and I was probably like 10, maybe 11. And I'm more cunning, of course, and I'm letting this guy hold my snake, and I'm trading him for his dad's horseshoes, okay, set that's in the garage. Hey, you want to hold my snake again for 5 more minutes? How about this one? How about trade me those golf clubs? Okay, and I was a little conniving dude. I didn't realize what I was doing wrong, but all I know is that about maybe a couple days later, because I went back there 2 or 3 times, and his dad, his name was Danny Bensky, his dad, okay, found out that I was renting my snake to him, renting my snake so he could hold it, all right? And let me get this thing off the rack. And the best part was that I was trading his dad's stuff. His child, of course, is very naive. He has no value of anything, and it's easily to trick someone, even if you're only a few years older than the ones younger than you. So anyways, he came over, talked to my dad. I heard him talking. Your son's a conniver. I heard him saying that. Your son's a conniver. Okay. And I had to give everything back, and my dad told me, what the heck you doing, man? I said, I was just seeing, I guess, what you guys do. You guys rent stuff, because my dad's an entrepreneur, real estate person, worked, anyways, created a lot of stuff. And so he taught us. That's just what it is. Buy it for a nickel, sell it for a dime. We're Maltese, right? We went to garage sales, bought a bunch of stuff, and learned at a young age, because my father taught us how to scrap. Taught us how to be able to see if we can live in this world a little better than everybody else by being not only a little smarter, but a little more cunning and doing more hard work. Not having 1 job, 2 or 3, but maybe finding something that makes you passive income and doing 3 jobs until you do it. Your first job pays for your life, right? Second job pays for some of the things, the tools that you'll need extra in your life. Okay, remember, you're an entrepreneur, you're not wasting money on vacation and stuff, whatever. And if you go, it's free to go, except for gas. And your third job is to be able to see if you can gamble that to turn it into more. And not gamble it with cards or anything, but buying and selling stuff. Whatever it is, it's your play money to make more money. And this was built in our head when we were younger. Okay, we were built, remember, you're training the children. You train the children now to go to school. And so what? You can get a job when you get out? No, you go to school, we were told, is so in time you don't have to work for anybody and you can put your little shingle up on the wall yourself and work for yourself and not have a master besides the world on top of you. As long as you follow the rules, then the world is yours. The oyster of the world is yours. Instead of giving all your energy up to some person for their dreams. And you get nothing out of it except a minor minimal wage or whatever you're getting. And it's good to learn. I flipped hamburgers over in McDonald's for 2 weeks. Told my dad, I said, "How am I going to get a job over here?" He says, "Why do you want to do it?" I said, "I want to feel what it is to be able to see if I can flip hamburgers." Anyways, I got the job. I never got a chance to flip hamburgers because when I was in there, I was like 15 or so. And it was like $2.25 an hour. Maybe it was 16. No, I think it was 15 because my mom had to drop me off. And anyways, all I did was be able to do everything that no one else wanted to do because I was low man on the totem pole. For 2 weeks, I wanted to feel how it is to be able to lose my world over someone else's needs and feel that feeling. This is what people do the whole life? Heck no, I'm not doing this. So that pushed me very hard not to be able to want to work, which I've never done, work for anybody. I worked for a couple of people younger, okay? Just because I thought it was the thing to do. I installed toilet paper dispensers, working for a janitor supply place, cleaned offices for Selectra company. You know, we'd play around inside cleaning the houses and stuff like that and do it as fast as we could. It was a big gym, play tennis and stuff, because we got paid $50 for doing it every night or 3 times a week. You know, change the trash cans, then we'd go in the cafeteria, make some hamburgers and stuff. No cameras back then, you could do what you want. As long as we got our work done, we were done. We went to clean the place when it was 9, you know, after the place closed, and we're supposed to clean for like 7 hours. We get done in 3 hours and play. Anyways, the old days are gone, and you know, going to school for one reason, if you're a child, guys, and if you go to school, the reason you go to school is so you could work for yourself. And you work for someone only to learn first how to do it. Because they don't teach you in school about money, they don't teach you in school about investments, they don't teach you in school about doing much, except for figuring out how they want you to work for the system. So the system's very genius, and if you follow it, then you're destined to be broke on a hamster wheel that you can't go ahead and get off. It's just made that way. It's genius, it's not human. If you think it is, guys, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Anyways, the children's lives do matter most. So parents, all I can say is try to be more conscious in a lot of the things that your children are learning. And not only that, try to see if there's DNA that's hiding inside them. Okay, maybe. You know, there's a lot of people that used to read over time, and if you don't read a lot of books, okay, then you lose a part of your brain basically that was activated in your prior incarnations, especially if you were just a little bit smarter and can learn how to read. A lot of people back in the day couldn't go ahead and read at all. But there's lots of virtues that people have in their DNA, and the child needs to try to find those, and you as the parent needs to go ahead and nurture those if you can find them, especially if you know your family tree. Your whole family tree, I keep going back to musicians, are musicians, and what do you think you got? You got a musician in the family. Let's go ahead and teach them what they already know. They just have to activate it to make the spirit connect with them, to be able to connect back into the past and bring that energy into the future through their biological DNA connections. Like I said, most of this information's over everybody's heads. It's okay. Remember, most of us just live in the matrix here, and as long as we have food, water, shelter, and we've got enough to be able to live, then you don't question anything on how this place runs, to be able to observe the genius of everything, including the human body, the dream machine. Anyway, it's time to work out. You can see I'm right in front of, there we go, BJ Penn UFC gym, and it's, like I said, a beautiful gym, and you can see what's next to it. Barbed wire. Looks like a prison right there, falling apart. So yeah, lots of helos not really taking care of it all. Not at all. And one of these days, I'm sure a scheduled Category 3 will come through here and wipe this place clean so it can be built back better. BBB. Little BBB, and you'll figure it out. All right. Lots to say, but I got nothing to say. Teaching your children, though, how to respect one another is ultimate number one, is to respect all life and to be able to see the miracle of life by having your children see the animals have babies. Chickens have babies. Okay? Whatever the animal is, dogs have babies. We did this all throughout my life just to be able to see the magic in this world, because that's part of living, is seeing the magic. You don't want to have any children, guys, and you're not going to see that magic. You're not going to see that magic. And when you get old, remember, somebody did wipe your arse when you were a child, is because you needed it. When you get older without any children, who's going to wipe your arse? And who's going to give a crap about you? Who's going to do that? Just a thought. The most magical part of my life was having children. I have 3 children right now, 36, 30, and 28, 27. 1 boy, 2 girls. And wow, what a gift. What a miracle. Especially to see them in the limelight of myself when I was their age, and how everything not only was so different, but just being taught to us. And you have to be very strong in this world to be able to not get sucked into its negativity. Remember, just think of this place as just nothing more than a chess game. You only know a handful of people around you that really mean anything. The rest of the people are just background people, okay? They don't even exist in your world. They don't exist in your world. They're background people. So your world just depends on how many connections that you interact with. And I'm talking in person, not on stupid AI interface. That's worthless. But you can see most people are whittling down their social eye contact time, physical to physical. Not only you see me, but you'll be able to, if I was here in front of you, you'd be able to see my emotions. You'd be able to sense me if you were connected with some type of spirit, or you were connected to what you can call the ethereal plane, and that's called being an empath. You would know that if you're making me scared, then you would back off. You would know if I'm sad, then you know that because you could feel it. You could make me happy, because we're supposed to do that to each other. And so the children right now, I can see, are very scared. Okay? All this climate change BS being thrown in their face, to just the jibs, scaring the crap out of everybody, wearing muzzles. Okay? Everything's, infected, whatever it is. I mean, it scars a child's mind. And these are the people that are going to be running your system in the future. Think about that. All of us are broken souls here to some degree. We've all had things happen to us, and part of your world of living here is to be able to make peace with that. Make peace with not only yourself, but the people around you that used to love you or still do love you. It's because that's all you got. And if you lose that connection, then you're just going to feel all alone. And that's not good. Remember, why are so many people taking antidepressants, and why are so many doctors giving this shit out like candy? Especially when you go there complaining, "Oh, I'm depressed." Yeah, I know. Why don't you exercise? Why don't you quit eating GMOs? Why don't you quit putting bloody cell phone up to your head? Why don't you quit doing a lot of things? Why don't you get some sun? Why don't you go out in nature? Why don't you do all those things? Again, eartheracademy.com. Got a lot of good things for you maybe to throw into your world. These are all things that I do in my world. And like I said, I'm going to work out right now. I went out of my way. I drove like 25 minutes to get here, and I'm going to spend an hour in the gym and do about a 20-minute sauna. And I'm going to go on with my day. 3 days a week in order to maintain or grow. 2 days a week if you just want to sort of maintain. And 1 day a week is a waste of time. You just get sore every time, and you never get over the hump because your body has to repair itself. And if you are going to do any type of exercise, with child and everything else, we all need nutrition, real nutrition. And plants don't give you the nutrition you need. You do need cholesterol in your brain. Cholesterol is the precursor to testosterone. And if you don't have testosterone, you're not going to the gym. And if you do go, you feel like an idiot. Why? It's because you're so weak. It doesn't feel good to push things around. And if you have testosterone, it feels awesome to push weights around because you feel so awesome afterwards, like Arnold Schwarzenegger used to say. Feels like coming. I can't say his accent, but he says that when he works out, he gets a pump, and it's like him coming. It is to your body. Your body has an orgasm. You bet. And so for the rest of the day, my whole body's tingling, depending on what area I worked, especially if I did a little bit of cardio to rebalance my chemicals. And if I don't do cardio, I just work out fast, and I get cardio while I work out. Then I go home and feed myself some highly nutritious, bioavailable food. A couple of eggs and maybe 3 or 4 ounces of meat. With no carbohydrates, no garbage with it. Maybe a little ketchup or something. And that's it. Maybe a couple sips of 3.5% organic kefir. Maybe a little bit of a fermented pickle. That's it. Maybe a spoon of 3.5% Nancy's probiotic cottage cheese. Organic, of course. If you don't use organic things, well, then guys, eat less. Is because all things that aren't organic, pretty much, even the ones that are organic, have chemicals in them because they're stored in plastic. Okay, there's chemicals in everything. It's just that there's less in these, or at least they're supposed to be. So if you don't have the money and you're eating a bunch of crap, eat less crap. Okay. Anyways, enough, guys. Time to go work out. And like I said, I can talk a long time on this because there's so many points, but I have to put my filter on. Is because I don't want to go out of boundaries. Remember, you're doing it to your children, guys, and your children don't know any better. They have zero authority to be able to go ahead and guide themselves. They don't know crap. Even if you're 16, guys, you're just a young whippersnapper. Okay, you think you know, but you don't. Wait until you get 30 years old and you think you're even smarter. And then wait until you get 40 when you find out, if you do keep on researching and keep on looking and looking into this world, okay, you find out that you don't know as much as you thought you knew. And when you're 50, maybe you'll get humbled to know that you don't know shit. Okay, and that means maybe you're becoming a mystic. The mystic mind knows that everything's a freaking mystery. Everything, a blade of grass growing. No one knows how the shit does it. Yeah, you watch it and name it. You don't know. It's a theory, how the heart works, how it replicates, okay, how it sends electricity throughout the body, not pumping your blood. Remember, there's a lot of story going on. Don't forget you came from a monkey too. Really. Really. Asian people don't look like that, right? Where'd they come from? We're the red, white, brown, black, and red species of humans. How did they get created? Why are they specific in their species? Anyways, I look at this place as a realm. That's all. And we're having an experience here, and some people here are well, programmed to see if we can help edit the matrix in a good way. And some people are just programmed just to be background people to keep this sucker going. And some people here, or when it's time to extract, they scare the crap out of everybody, and everybody gets, of course, the feelings of fear, doubt, uncertainty, and you're feeding a ethereal parasite that's feeding off of the fear, doubt, and uncertainty, especially under scarcity. I call this, again, the grand extraction. So don't buy into a lot of BS. Remember, fear means false evidence appearing real, and it means F everything and run. Fear. And belief, remember, what is that? B-E-L-I-E. It's a lie, right? It's belief. Okay, a lie in. Really, who came up with these words? Really? Really? Let's do some business and do some sinning. And be really busy at sinning and cheating and conniving. Just to be able to see if you can live better than the next person. And because, why? It's because the system says so. It doesn't want to help you. If not, life wouldn't be the way it is. But you can see, life is very hard. And for most, it's a suffering system. And what is what we could call the energy of suffering? You can say that's the delicacy of the demonic realm, of the satanic realm, of the realm, of course, no form. And the meme is, they are everywhere, but they are nowhere at the same time. How about that? In order to see the curse, you must have the curse. Just because I see doesn't mean anything. And it's an honor to be able to see these things, and there's nothing to say. Remember, consciousness only lets you see so far, just like your eyes can only see so far. A child that's 2 years old only has the consciousness of a 2-year-old, and just because you're 50 years old doesn't mean you have that much more than a 10-year-old, just to let you know. And there are different species, like I said here, that are activated in different neural net connectors. Yes, there are. That's why you see people that can use both their hands and play music, is because their brain is much different than those that only could use one hand at a time, the half a brain activated people. So activate your children. Activate them. And if you give your children up to the state, well, they're going to deactivate them. You're going to strip out any type of critical thinking. Don't ask questions. Just learn what we want you to learn, and repeat it like a parrot, is because that's the way it is. That's what everybody else believes it is. Everybody else does. The history, the scientism, all the hatred, and all the whatever things that we're being told. As you'll notice, each generation's told a different story, so fights with the last generation about the story that it thinks it knows. Anyways, enough. Like I said, a lot to talk about, but there's nothing to talk about. Guys, take care of yourselves and see if you can do, at least one day of fasting a week. It's really good for you just to be able to fast. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You can save some money. Fast for at least 24 hours if you can, for 36 hours. Drink a gallon of water with some salt in there and some minerals, or just some lemon. It's good if you're overweight, and or just if you're trying to detox yourself. That's it. Simple thing. Simple thing is eat 6 days, and on the 7th day, rest your body. Give your body a bloody rest. It's got enough crap in it, especially if you can't see your abs. Again, look, I'm going to work out, and I'm an old ass man, and I still have abs. And I'm laughing each time. It's because I have better abs than most of the 18-year-olds in there. In fact, most of the time, better than anybody. Just what it is, okay? Like I said, I do 200 crunches 3 times a week, and I've been doing that ever since I was 14 years old. Okay, this stimulates your hormones, this stimulates your metabolism, this stimulates your lymphatic system to move just by doing that stupid stuff. And how much does it cost? Nothing. Okay, what do you have to do? Just pay attention. Pay attention by others that have played in this realm, that can show you, not just talk to you. Okay, they walk the walk because they show you. Okay, what they've become. It's not arrogance, it's not narcissism, it's just, guys, this is your machine, this is the body. The body is your church, and the church is run by your temples, and the temples must be aligned, and of course the body must be cleansed and clean in order for it to function like it should. If not, you're just confused mother, man. Okay, you can't figure out what gender you are. You can't figure out what I should jump into, what religion I should be. I mean, you can't figure out even, I guess, how to keep your house clean, and how to be able to maybe just do some simple protocols to make it so you don't feel sick and tired all the time. Remember, this is a spell. If you're not taking care of yourself, then you're doing it to yourself. And if you're not guiding your children in the right direction, and you don't even know where to go, then where do you think your children are going? In the same direction you are. Unconscious. And it's not making fun of anybody. Guys, there's a lot of trickery here in this place, a lot of booby traps, a lot of that crap. Look at all the females putting lead and lipstick on, putting petrochemicals, rubbing fake up on their face that have ground up little fetuses and stuff in them. Really, putting dead babies on your face. That's a good one. Again, take care of yourselves, guys, and love one another a little bit more. I found that heals a lot of the hearts that are sad, is loving each other a little bit more. And if you can get that, give it a try. Don't be shy. And just because your consciousness is different than someone else, don't fight with theirs. Be the bigger person, the bigger man, the bigger girl. Be that person, and that's it. Let them talk about whatever they want to talk about, and don't interact on a negative way. It's just what it is. As in Rome, do as the Romans do. When I go back with my family now, I'm not here to tell them about a lot of stuff. I'll mention a few things in, and if you ask questions, then I'll ask. I'll answer. But I'm not here to rub everybody's, drink and diet this and do, it's just not it. As in Rome, do as the Romans do, and you'll get along with those Romans really good. Okay, that's it. Aloha, guys, and we'll see you next time. Whew, getting hot here.